Parts are becoming almost impossible to find, folks. Huge wait times. Also, we're getting a lot of reports from you guys about diesel and gas prices being up significantly in the last couple weeks. Also, we have a report from a manager at Lowe's who is going to give us the inside scoop on what's going on with the appliances, and it's bad. We're talking about washers, dryers, we're talking about refrigerators, we're talking about a lot of these different appliances are in major shortages. There's major backlogs out there. So if you're in the market to get an appliance, be aware of these things. We got a whole bunch of other reports coming from you guys from all over the world. Let's jump into the report. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant, and you guys send me a lot of the information that you guys are seeing out there at your workplaces, also at your stores, what's happening with the store shelves. We want to talk about shortages and get to the bottom of these things. All right, folks, so a lot of comments from you guys about fuel shortages, fuel prices, sorry. Not outages, but prices going up dramatically. You're throwing me a whole bunch of numbers. You're throwing at me a whole bunch of prices. And of course, from one region to the next region, it's hard to compare apples to oranges and such. But the common theme is that a lot of you are being very shocked by the price increases in diesel and the price increases in gasoline. And that is true. We're seeing oil prices going up, but even more than that, we're seeing the gas and diesel prices going up even further due to a lack of refining capability within the United States. I talked about that, I believe, last week, where we're talking about how many of the refineries in the United States are shutting down. We have a lot of refineries offline due to major problems that they're having. And so because of that, we're seeing that impact us directly at the pump. Also, I can't help but throw this out there that a lot of this is environmental policies happening, right? One, making it harder to drill for oil and natural gas out there, but also that nobody's allowed to build a new refinery. That's the big thing out there. It's so impossible to build a new refinery or to remanufacture the existing refineries so that they can actually process the fuel, the oil that is actually produced inside the United States. We have to take our oil and ship it over to Saudi Arabia, over to Europe, to facilities over there that can actually process that type of oil. Whereas we have to import Saudi Arabian oil to the United States to run our facilities so that we can produce diesel and gas. It's completely inefficient and ridiculous, and yet that is where all the Greenpeace people want us to be, apparently, because to them it's a great idea for us to have to ship our oil all the way across the world and to ship their oil from all the way across the world to us. This is from Jim in the Pocono Mountains area. I went to 8 stores over the past week. Can't find ammonia out there anywhere. Ammonia is kind of critical for a bunch of things, right? So let us know if you can't find ammonia out where you are. So that's in the Pennsylvania area, eastern Pennsylvania. Let us know if you can't find ammonia out there either. This is from Sylvia. Returned from shopping in Tucson today. Tucson Mall was a virtual ghost town. Hardly anyone in the stores, and this was the middle of the day. Trader Joe's had decent traffic, but people weren't buying a whole lot. Went to a sports store, not many people there. As we've talked about this, it looks like the retail bubble has finally burst. People are realizing how much they need to save money right now. They can't be spending all this ridiculous amounts of money. In addition to that, people's student loans are starting to come due again. They have to start saving up to make their student loan payments. That means they can buy less stuff. Credit card debt has finally started to drop a little bit as people have finally started to cut their spending. It's going to impact stores all over the United States dramatically. Europe is already in recession, but the United States is arguably already in recession, but we haven't had the numbers back that up just yet, according to government numbers. If you listen to my numbers, I'm telling you we've been in recession since 2008, but that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother video. Ultimate Corgi, which is a great screen name, says, Pasta has almost completely disappeared from store shelves in the suburban chunks of St. Paul, Minnesota. Even the chickpea pasta is low. Rice is present, but low as well. Macaroni and cheese is low. Staple grain-based foods are disappearing now. Vinegar is almost completely gone. Only the expensive stuff is left. Didn't check the flour, but it's been struggling for a while now. Plenty of honey and produce, but no corn. This is from a viewer in Durango, Colorado, at Walmart. The greeter said, "No cash, self-checkout only." Over half of the self-checkout lines were closed as well. Another three aisles are candy and junk food as they shrink the real food. Anyone else seeing that out there where they're just they're opening up all these extra aisles of junk food, but they aren't actually but they're shrinking the areas of like flour, shrinking the areas of pasta. But candy, oh, they got tons of room for candy. Susan in Mississippi. Walmart in Southwest Mississippi, our local Walmart yesterday, was better stocked than I had seen it in a long while. But the milk and milk products was almost totally empty. I mention this because someone in Tennessee said the same thing. One large refrigerator totally empty and dark. The other one had 2 one-gallon jugs of regular milk. Never seen this before here in Mississippi. Over to Southwest Louisiana, Sherry says this: Libby's vegetables of any kind went from 49 cents to $1.89 on sale. So it was just a couple years ago, it was down to 49 cents a can, but now it's $1.89. The Food Club veggies were on sale for 88 cents, but not many of them. Ground beef, a steady $4.99 to $5.99 everywhere. Yikes. Noodles, salt, and flour and sugar mostly gone. Actually, they had rice on the at the local grocery store, but everything's skyrocketing in price, from food to fuel to propane and charcoal. Anything that's energy dense is going up in price dramatically, right, folks? Especially as we head into winter, which we need to be getting ready for. Produce section has been downsized and replaced with bakery stuff. Potatoes were there, but looked bad. Lettuce heads were the size of a child's fist. It's getting sad. This is from Brad in Southern Tennessee. Southern Tennessee and Northern Mississippi have 0 refrigerators available for at least 2 weeks. All the floor models are sold. We had to find a person on Facebook that sells scratch and dents to get one. FYI, I will never buy a new in-the-box fridge again. We saved $1,800. That's true. Just make sure you get one that's not too old, right? Get one that's a little bit old. I think what prevents a lot of people from buying used refrigerators is it kind of freaks them out, the idea of moving it. So as long as you're comfortable moving it and you can do that, I think you're going to find some great deals out there for a lot of appliances. People just go to the store and they don't want to have to move it. So delivery is actually one of the biggest selling points on appliances out there, right? So people, that's the first question people ask is, does this cost cover the installation? Or does this cover the cost of you delivering it to the home and disposing of the old one, right? This is from a viewer in Central Arkansas. I'm a manager with Lowe's. The appliance shortage is real and has been going on for at least 4 to 6 months. It's gotten so bad that all the appliances coming in on the trucks aren't for the store, they're for customers who have already purchased one. Also, they are telling us not to sell into the negative on wire. So basically they have, the wire that they have in the store, they're being told not to sell any wire that they don't actually have physically in the store. Why? because of the upcoming problems getting wire. The U.S. Government has just recently declared copper to be an essential material for war, and that is their recognition that there's issues in the copper market, finding enough copper out there, and we definitely need it if we ever have to fight a war with anybody. Not like that could ever happen in the next 12 months, could it? Junior Mustang says this: Columbia, South Carolina. I own a lawnmower shop and parts are taking up to 4 months to get in. The Kawasaki oil filters, I may have butchered that, sorry, are the hardest to get. Apparently, the hospital equipment is using these oil filters and they are first priority on receiving them. Carburetors have tripled in price. But what is really disturbing is I received a government census. The questions were about, do we work on gas-powered equipment? There were about 12 different questions about gas. I have a feeling that they are about to tax the heck out of me and my shop. Plus, I was informed by my vendors that prices will be going up in September by 10%, so stock up on all lawnmower parts like blades and service supplies while you can, because these items will cost you significantly more due to vendor pricing and taxes. There's a warning for you guys out there. This is from John. At the local independent car/truck repair, one person, it's a one-person business, now over 30 vehicles waiting for parts, many for many months parts, many months. I asked why they leave them there. They can't drive them. We are in Southern Tier, New York, and Walmart, and our Walmart is well stocked. I was told they are keeping the blue states stocked. Now, that's what they heard. That's what they're saying. But we're seeing that all over the place, right? Car repairs taking a long, long time. I just got my car back, and it took them 8 months to replace the engine. 8 months. If you don't want to see me cry, we'll change the topic, right? That was a painful process. I'm still upset about that. That is just, it cost way more than it should, and it took far, far longer than it should. But they just couldn't find the parts. They couldn't find the parts. It's ridiculous. This is SCMT. I'm in response to the agricultural runoff. We had a comment before about how all the stuff running off of the farms is poisoning all the water in North Dakota. And this person says, in response to the agricultural chemical runoff in North Dakota, same here in Montana. These are the headwaters of major rivers throughout our country. Please realize none of the water in our lakes or rivers up here is suitable for fishing or drinking. And here's a helpful hint. This is something I've been saying for a while too. It's not safe for drinking either, whether boiled or filtered, because neither one eliminates the chemicals. Unless you're running it through an activated charcoal filter, charcoal can actually remove chemicals, but it can only remove so many chemicals. Okay, and it does that by absorbing those chemicals. So filters don't get rid of chemicals, and neither does boiling. So be aware of that out there. That's one of the things where it's more important to have a better quality water source instead of just getting a couple filters and saying that you're all right. Certain kinds of filters do not do anything at all for the chemicals, like Life straws, Berkeys, unless you get the some additional components on there, they don't really do anything for chemicals. This is from Lloyd in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Most locations had 1 or 2 20-pound bags of white rice at Walmart's. They had no white rice at another one. We have plenty of coffee for now. Canned and shelf-stable fruit are low. Shelf-stable milk is impossible to find. Meat sections are low as usual. Only 1 pack of each cut. I think we should expect to see more lab-grown and even bug food when Americans can't find or afford other means of filling their bellies. And that's really kind of the goal there, isn't it? To push us off of meat and to get us into bug burgers or into lab-grown meat. They don't like farms. People who run farms think for themselves and have their own small businesses. What they want is corporate-owned factories. Factories that they can control and to keep people close to the cities. They've said this. They want to save the planet. They want to get rid of cows, but they want to feed us whatever it takes in order to be able to control us. All right, folks, if you found this video to be useful or helpful, you might want to check out another video from this channel. There's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.